What up, YouTube? Back again. Can't nobody hold me down. Ain't no one gonna stop. No. Oh no. I got to keep on moving. Yeah, that's not my singing voice, but yo, they're trying to take your boy out. Ladies and gentlemen, they literally hit me with, they tried to hit me with 3 strikes, literally in 2 weeks. So, if you guys notice, I haven't posted a video in 2 weeks. It's because your boy's been in YouTube jail and they're trying to take my account out. And what's really, really, really crazy about it is the 2 videos that they flagged. One was from December of 2020, and another one was from, I believe, I think it was May 31st. So 2 years to the day, right? Literally, they hit me with 1 strike. Boom. That same week, they hit me with a 2nd strike. And I'm like, and so I appeal the decisions and I say, yo, these videos are from 2 years ago, a year and a half. The other one's from 2 years ago to the date. Your policies were different back then, right? If you're talking about, because all they're trying to do is hit me with misinformation. Say, oh, that's medical misinformation. This is misinformation. This is, you are misinformation. No. Anyone who's been watching my channel, even if you're new here and you just browse through the 1,300 videos that I posted in 2 years, just over 2 years, as you can see, your boy's been very busy trying to get the word out there and get perspective on things that genuinely most people don't realize. For example, if you say anything against the master vaccines, they will try to, since if you say anything against or contradicts anything that the WHO or CDC says, they will block you, hit you with misinformation. If you say anything about the election that's contrary to what actually happened and who became our president, boom, they'll hit you with misinformation. Any type of thing. I remember a time when YouTube was one of the most respected platforms ever. Huge, the platform, number one. It still probably is number one. I believe there's a total of over 3 billion users. There's approximately 7.8 billion people on the planet, and 3 billion of those individuals are on YouTube, on Facebook, on Twitter. You get the idea. But what's so crazy is this was 2 years ago. And here they are, they're trying to censor your boy. Why? Why? Why are they so determined to shut down truthers? Do you guys know how many channels I've seen that have gotten shut down the last couple years that had anywhere between 400,000, 250,000 to 300, 400,000, 500,000 subscribers to up to 1 million subscribers? Guys that I know that have been doing this for 10 years, 12 years, 15 years. I mean, since YouTube started. And we're some of the most respected independent journalist channels that genuinely did it for no other reason than to just share truth, perspective, knowledge, wisdom, give you the insight about issues and the inside tracks to help you to see the massive deceptions and cover-up in government and also in media and just practically everywhere we look. And now it's kind of one of those situations where, that they're making it be known to all those truthers that this is not the platform. YouTube is not the platform to speak truth to power now anymore. It seems like the main sites, Odyssey, Rumble, BitChute, etc., they seem to be more open to allowing people to share controversial information and still exercise their free speech without their constitutional rights being violated, even though these private corporations have that clause in their terms and conditions of their community guidelines that we agree to, so therefore they're given the exemption on free speech, right? It's the government's responsibility to protect our constitutional rights of free speech, but obviously corporations don't have to. So it makes me wonder, like, is the government allowing this because it gives them a scapegoat and gives them a pass so that corporations can continue, corporations that are on public platforms Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, etc., that it literally gives them that free pass, and it gives them, it helps the government. One hand washes the other, because it allows these companies to do the government's dirty work without the government saying, hey, you guys are infringing on free speech. We need to create some regulations here, which is what they should do, but they don't. And so what it brings me to is just the simple fact that now we're living in an age where there is an assault against the Constitution. You can see what's happening in the last couple of years with fact checkers and people being blocked and censored. Also on YouTube, like Twitter, all of it, right? All the bots and the trolls. You just see how it's gotten so much worse in the last couple of years. And so there's an attack on the First Amendment of free speech, and there's also an attack on the Second Amendment. And obviously we can see that this particular political party that's running the United States government right now at this time in 2022, you can see that obviously for people that seem to say that they're so outspoken about free speech, obviously it's a double standard. It's a one-sided coin. It's like, well, our free speech matters, but yours doesn't. And last time I checked, the First Amendment says free speech, the freedom to protest, the right to free press, those are inalienable rights, and they're supposed to be guaranteed in the Constitution. And unfortunately, I see politicians on and off through just the last couple decades, 20 years, that seem to be using the Constitution as toilet paper. And I'm proud to be an American, but I am ashamed of these corrupt governments and these tyrannical policies that ultimately are limiting free speech and taking free speech away. And this is how it starts. People say, oh, well, that's just the internet. It's not like they're doing that in person. Yeah, it is. I remember under Obama when they were creating protest zones. In other words, if you want to protest, there's a couple things you can't do. You can't be threatening. You cannot infringe on traffic, and you can't be on private property, right? You got to be on the sidewalk. Can't be in the middle of the road. But I remember like a decade ago when they started creating these protest zones and saying, okay, you want to protest? No, you got to go over there. This little box right here, there's your protest zone. That's another example of a violation of the Constitution. There's nowhere in the Constitution where it says, here's where you have to protest in this spot, here, here, here. No, it just simply says you can't be infringing on traffic, and you can't be, doing anything in a threatening manner. But as long as it's a peaceful protest, you're not infringing on traffic, you're allowed to protest just about anywhere. And unfortunately, you can see all these different things happening right around the same time. It's not a coincidence that this is happening in this timing. And I just hope and I pray that even as small as my channel is, I hope that I'm able to make some sort of difference and inspire somebody. Maybe I could be inspiring the next Martin Luther King or the next John F. Kennedy to get out there and start to speak up, use your voice, use your platform for good. I've talked to many different YouTubers that have huge channels. One guy who's got 94 million subscribers. He's been doing it for 10 years. He's highly successful. And I've reached out to them and said, hey, I respect what you guys do. I love your channel. It's very entertaining. But now that you have this type of platform that's this big, you have a responsibility as an American. And you should start using your platform for other things as well, to bring light to important controversial issues that we need to have a debate and a discussion about. And I like I said, I hope that I've inspired not just someone, but many people to don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. Listen, they already know everything about us anyway, okay? Stop holding back. Put yourself out there and just let the truth be told, and just be it as it may. Just don't be afraid to speak up. Now is the time. There's going to come a time in your life when you're going to wish that you spoke up, and your children and your grandchildren are going to look at you and say, where were you when that was happening? Were you one of those people that protested? Were you someone that was outspoken? Did you try to do something to make a difference? Did you try to spread information and communicate and give people perspective on whatever? Did you try? Did you at least try? Did you try once or twice, or did you actually make an effort to actually follow through? I mean, this last couple of years, posting just about 1,300 videos, actually more than 1,300, because they've blocked in the last couple of years like at least 5, 6, 7 of my videos. But the fact remains, ladies and gentlemen, here in America, we have a constitution and it protects us. And I can see in the future big class action lawsuits coming against these big social media conglomerates, because regardless of their lawyer jargon and their private agreement, you know, their terms and conditions, and it's a private contract, you know, it's a private company. The fact remains, regardless of whatever they do in other countries, then they'll have to take that one step at a time. But as far as here in America, there is no excuse and no reason why, regardless of their terms and conditions, that our free speech should be impeded on. Unless you're being vulgar, or someone's being threatening, or they're being stupid, or they're saying things that are really, really, really inappropriate, then yes, that free speech should be blocked. But when it comes to everything else, you know, you want to curse up a storm, I mean, hey, that's your right. You want to, you know, say you don't like your government, that's your right. You want to say that you don't agree with these policies, and, you know, you should have that right. The right to disagree, and all of us should have that right. And we do. It just seems to be that we're losing it, unfortunately. So I need your support, and I need you to do your part and start speaking out as well. God bless you. I appreciate all y'all, and I'll check y'all on the next one. Godspeed.